That's Bush League. Bush League.
Punch you right in the mouth. That's Bush. Bush League.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Bush League Bros Sports Talk. We've got a big show with UFC 259 recaps. We've got to talk Blake Griffin and the Nets, the All-Star game, quarterbacks in the NFL, and a few more things. But before we get to that, I'm Brett Bagshelder. That is the COVID-vaccinated Paul Iakis. Paul, how are we doing today, man?
Not great for COVID vax, dude. I think when they give you COVID, you just have COVID now. I've been sick since I got the vaccine. I feel like it's just
building
it's
those
a disaster,
antibodies,
dude. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah. We'll
put this in conspiracy corner. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're being tracked by Bill Gates maybe more than you were before? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you waking up with any are you having code dreams like 101010 or
not quite
not there yet?
Okay. Every time I try and say something negative about Joe Biden, it just comes out as
super positive.
Joe Biden's the greatest president of all time. Bill Gates is the greatest philanthropist the world's ever seen. That's I can't when I try to say something negative about them, physically in my mouth doesn't let me say the words.
Maybe that's why you're sick, because you're trying to fight those urges.
I'm trying to fight. Yeah, I'm trying to fight the. They're trying to brainwash me. It's working, but I'm trying to fight it, and they're like, "You're just gonna be sick, and as long as you keep fighting." So I guess I just have to go and just be a left wing shill.
Yeah, that's right.
Shill now.
Yeah. Hey, but you're not gonna get COVID, even though you might have had COVID this entire week because I've had the vaccine.
Yeah, I think that's why. We recorded this hours after I gotten the vaccine.
Yep.
So you were right around the 12-hour mark after the vaccine, just death for 24 hours straight. I was 103, 4 fever, dude.
Gross.
Just couldn't get out of bed. Felt like I was I had the worst fever of my life. Worst 24-hour sickness I ever had. I don't know what they put in that stuff, but it is not good.
For those of us who are deemed less important than you, who can't get the COVID shot yet, we don't have the privilege that you have. Shot 2, much worse than shot 1. Is that what I'm
shot 2? Just skip it. Just skip it. You don't need it.
We don't need. Let's just have COVID come back, okay? We don't need shot 2.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you some medical advice. Just don't get the vaccine at all. Yeah, that's my advice.
I'm proud of you for sticking through. You're you got the sniffles today, but you're powering through. No pickle juice today, though, right?
No pickle juice. I got some Dayquil. I'm going to just be sipping on this during the show.
Oh, man, you legitimately do have a thing of Dayquil with you. Mm-hmm. And Dayquil, this is a great time. You want to get in on the ground floor and sponsor us, we will sell out.
Dayquil.
Absolutely. Dayquil, great product.
If you've had the COVID vaccine and you're trying to get through it, just get you some Dayquil, dude.
Some Dayquil.
It's not going to help. I don't think it helps at all, to be honest.
But it's going to help.
But psychologically,
there's
a 5% chance it might help.
There we go. But I like that.
That's about it, though. Yeah,
that's good. I can dig it. And before we get into sports talk here real quick, I found something out, and I just want your opinion on it, okay? I want to know, have you ever heard of goat yoga? Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah.
So, I've heard of it before. I guess I've never really seen it. And, my friend's wife, dear friends of mine, the Ford family, not the actual Ford Motor Company. That'd be pretty sweet. Get some sweet new deals on some, some vehicles, but not them. But, they're out there letting, they have a child, year-old. And they're out there letting the mom go out there and have these goats climb on them while they're doing yoga. Are these goats potty trained? Goats are a satanic symbol. How are we going to let people just go do yoga
with goats
around satanic symbols? Do you trust this?
Doing this?
Is this okay? Why? What is the appeal?
Well, it is a satanic gesture,
right?
You're right.
Yeah,
that's facts. But people have been doing this with cats, also, satanic creatures.
Yep.
Just in general, this is. I don't agree with it.
Far be it for me.
Yoga.
Yeah.
You don't need to post it on social media. You don't need to bring unwilling animals into it. Just do yoga. Yeah.
Far be it for me to health shame or workout shame anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. What are we? Yoga is, I don't want to do yoga anyway. There's too much stretching and I'm not supposed to bend that way. But like if I'm downward dogging and all of a sudden, like I'm in this vulnerable position and a goat just not only just tries to headbutt me, but then while I'm down, climbs on me and just sharts all over me, like, bombing me with goat pellets. This is, what are we doing? I mean, hey, it's 2021. You can't position shame me either anymore. Okay. Like that's how you're going to get, I mean, everybody's been canceled. So you want to be canceled next, pal? I mean, keep position shaming me. All right.
You can only be canceled if you allow yourself to be canceled. That's
true. I mean, everything was, I mean, we thought things were canceled last week.
Get canceled. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, way more things got canceled this week, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, no,
because they're canceled. We can't talk about it because they're canceled. And if they were not canceled, then they'd be real, but they're canceled. They're not real.
For talking about them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And whatever, we'd still come out with the show because ain't nobody stomping us until you start talking against Biden and you beat the COVID vaccine symptoms, and then we get shut down. But that's for a conspiracy episode. We're here to talk about sports today. All right.
Yeah.
We got to talk about them. Let's start with UFC 259. You said it last time on the show. We stink at predictions.
We are terrible, dude.
And I feel like we have cursed Connor, and now we have cursed Israel Adesanya, who was 20-0 before both of us came on this show. And so there's no way he's going to lose to Jan Blachowicz. And sure enough, he gets beat in 5 rounds, unanimous decision. What were whether it was that fight or any other fights, what was your biggest takeaway from UFC 259?
I mean, from that fight, I don't know, man. I think Izzy just moved up too quick. I don't necessarily you got to give Jan credit. Like you know what I mean? He put the hurt on Izzy, but I think it was really just about Izzy. Izzy is like a true middleweight. I don't really know that he. Like the reason he's so dominant in that division is because maybe he's he's not necessarily even oversized for the middleweight division. He's just long and lanky. But I think when you move up to light heavyweight, you're fighting with some dudes that, are legit. I think Izzy really walks around probably at like 190, right? He probably almost gained weight for this fight, right?
I don't think he even necessarily gained weight. I mean, we talked about last time, he was just eating pizza on the scale because he was 5 pounds under, because that's maybe like 190 to 200 is his average. Yeah, you might be right about that.
No, I think he weighed in at like 203, right?
200.5.
200.5. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and the weight limit's 205, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think he tried to put on some muscle for this fight, and I just don't think it was enough, man. Like he just met someone that, I don't know. I just don't know that this move up was the right move for him. After watching that fight beforehand, I thought, yeah, it definitely was. But who knows, man? I mean, I think it won't be the last time we see him fight in that division. I think he'll be back up there, but he'll go rule the middleweight division, I think, for a little bit here. And I don't know. It stinks because it just seems like now it's like another destiny fight between John Jones.
That's never happening now.
It's never going to happen.
Never going to happen. I feel like UFC can't catch a break. Connor was returning. Yeah. It was supposed to be a huge year for Connor, and he loses. But we've got Izzy. He's going to be the double champ. John Jones is going to go be the heavyweight champ, and they're going to have a mega fight at light heavyweight, and that's off the table. All these guys that are up and coming seem to keep losing, and it's probably our fault. And I know we can. Hindsight's 2020, that old cliche. We could talk about how he shouldn't have gone up, or what maybe he wasn't ready, and maybe he wasn't all day. But hey, like he said, he dared to be great. He came up short, so I'm sure, like you said, he'll be great in middleweight still. I don't think it's gonna have any impact.
He'll be great, man. He's still one of the most talented fighters.
Yeah, I mean, he's still Izzy. I don't know.
Like, you got to give Jan a lot of credit, man. Like we often overlook these tough white dudes like him and the heavyweight. Who's the heavyweight guy?
The champ?
Yeah.
How am I blank? Miocic Stipe.
Stipe. We overlook these guys, but these tough, they're I don't know. What are they called?
Tough whites.
Yeah, these tough whites.
You got to bring race. All right, Stephen A. Smith. We got to give more credit to the white guys out there. Yeah. All right, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Where's our representation?
Can we take a quick 5-minute or quick 10-second break? I'm getting news. Thanks
Okay.
to my fearless leader, Joe Biden, we may have just got that stimulus hit, dude. I'm checking my bank account. Let's check, dude.
Already? Didn't it just pass today?
It did. I didn't get mine yet. I did not get mine yet.
I'm
Come
not,
on, Joe.
I mean, mine.
I'm your dude. I don't even get mine yet.
Ha ha ha! I hope I get mine before you.
One of my friends that the stimmy just hit. Yeah.
Well, good for your. Did your friend have the COVID vaccination?
No, dude.
Oh, okay. So, all right, there are unprivileged people in your area. That's good to know. That's good to know. That's nice. You know, I'm glad you hang out with people below you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's very nice. I'm proud of you.
Not everyone can be
people below your
yeah.
station. Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But, all right, back to.
But anyway, back to UFC. That's staying. I'm not taking that out of the podcast. That's staying. That's quality content right there. I'm keeping that in.
No stimmy.
No stimmy yet, guys. Stimmy check 2021 part. What is this? 3, 4? How many stimmies have we gotten so far?
How many stimmies? This is part 3, I think. Right?
Okay, yeah. 1,200, 600, and 1,400. All right, cool. So the next one will be 100. But anyway, anywho, back to UFC 259. I'm not going to talk about Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes dominated the featherweight division, as we talked about last time. Could be gone. One more thing that I want to talk about before we go over into the NBA is Peter Yan defending his belt against Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
Very controversial. I know you saw this. It ended in a disqualification when Peter Yan kneed Sterling right in the head while Sterling was down on a knee and had one hand on the ground.
Yeah.
Khabib was there because he had someone fighting. He was in somebody's corner, and he heard, because Yan is Russian, Khabib understood what their corner was saying. He said that his corner told him to kick him. When he asked, kicked him, disqualified, loses the title over a disqualification.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are going to blame the corner or whatever, but you're the champ. How do you not know the rules? And on Sterling's side, he started out saying, oh, this isn't how I wanted to win. And now he's going on little Instagram press tours or whatever, bragging about how he's the champ and, oh, I'm not celebrating. But it's all a bunch of nonsense. It's all a bunch of hot garbage that y'all can go look up yourselves. But how do you feel about a UFC title being able to be won via disqualification?
I don't like it, dude. You can't like the title being won that way. I mean, you gotta win that thing outright. But I mean, it's an illegal blow, dude. There's very few things I feel like that are illegal in the UFC, and you just can't knee someone when they're on the ground, and it makes a lot of sense. I feel like that's like how you can kill someone is like kneeing someone.
Yeah, I don't think anybody disagrees with the rule.
Yeah, like I've seen that move like in a street fight once, and remember being like, "That's fucked up."
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Granted, like a street fight, anything goes, but I just remember being like, that's a low blow. You can't knee someone when they're down. But they're obviously gonna have a rematch. Like it's not really.
I don't know. Are they?
That
I mean,
title
Dana said but
isn't legitimate now. But
you can't go around celebrating a title victory like that. When you were he was clearly losing the fight. Jan was really starting to apply pressure, and it looked like Sterling wasn't really knocked out. And probably maybe he shouldn't have. Maybe we got to be careful. But I know a lot of guys in the UFC, and I'll start throwing up tweets here. I've got that ready to go. A lot of guys were questioning the acting job and saying that he deserves an Oscar for best performance with that knockout or whatever. But you can't. I mean, look, it's really bad when WWE, not real wrestling, I get it, has better rules about how you can and can't win a title via disqualification than the real fighting. I mean, we got to do better than that, right? I mean,
we got to be better, UFC. Come on.
Yeah. So that's dumb. We both agree with that. And because we both agree, that's kind of boring. So let's get out of UFC. All right.
Let's do it.
We should have saw this coming. Anytime they have multiple titles on the card normally stinks. That card wasn't a lot of fun to watch. So let's go over to the NBA, and let's start with something that I thought was going to be fun to watch, was fun to watch for a little bit, and then became so boring. And that's the NBA All-Star Game, and really the events surrounding the NBA All-Star Game. No weekend because of COVID. The first quarter, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought the first quarter was exciting.
Yeah,
Zion was trying to jump out of the building. Steph Curry was just being an absolute gangster and putting up threes, turning around for the camera while the ball was in midair and swishing them. First quarter was great. Then from about halfway through the second quarter, through the weak ass dunk contest to the end of the game that was a blowout, 170-150 for Team LeBron over Team Durant.
Yeah.
This thing stunk, right? Am I missing anything here?
I mean, this is how the All-Star game goes, man. Ebbs and flows, dude. Like we have like a couple years where it's decent, and then we have a year where it kind of stinks like this, and then what'll probably happen is like next year it'll be like even worse, and then they'll be like, we have to revamp the All-Star game again. That's just how it's gone like the past like 10, 15 years, I think. So I mean, I think the most exciting part of the All-Star game or the All-Star activities
Weekend,
was the 3-point contest.
And that's sad.
And that's sad. Yeah, that is the most exciting part. Steph Curry won it like on the last shot, and I mean the dunk contest was like nothing special. Like I
The
didn't
dunk
watch the
contest was awful.
Yeah, I wasn't
Awful.
like expecting it to be good, so I didn't watch it live. And like it's like it was like every single dunk like I had seen before. I think they're just running out of dunks.
It was 3 nobodies, and I know that's people like Obi Toppin and a kid from it. I get it. These guys, maybe they'll be somebody someday. But first of all, there's only 3. I don't remember the last time there's only 3 people in a dunk contest. Yeah. And you're right. None of these dunks. I had seen all these dunks before.
Yeah, man.
It's
got to be something new, dude. Yeah.
So boring. I'm sitting there like,
it's gonna be new, or you got to get like no stars want to do the dunk contest anymore.
Look, give me, because save the dunk contest. Give me LeBron. Give me Zion. LeBron can still dunk out of the building.
Yeah, but he's never going to do it. Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying. I dream here for a second?
Okay.
All right, give me LeBron. Give me Zion, Aaron Gordon, because really he should have won the one that he was in the first time. He has him and Zach LaVine brought back the dunk contest for 2 years.
Yeah. That was probably the greatest dunk contest ever.
Yeah, give me him. Put Zach LaVine back in there. That's fine. Yeah. And then give me somebody who I don't know that can dunk out of the building, just as kind of a dark horse. I don't know who that's going to be, but give me those guys. They'll put on a show, even if it's not something different. At least those guys are explosive athletes.
Yeah.
The dude trying to kiss the rim and miss, that's crap.
At this rate, like you've seen like these videos, to like these people that like are not NBA athletes that like have like these ridiculous dunks. That's like what they do. Like they make YouTube videos of like them doing. Like at this point, I'd rather just have players that like aren't even in the NBA that are just like athletic freaks that can just dunk and do crazy dunks. Because especially if you're gonna put like if you're gonna put nobody's guy off the bench for the Indiana Pacers in there, that like no one's ever heard of, like. What are we doing? Yeah, put. I don't know. I hate it. I hate that we don't get stars in the dunk contest. We haven't.
We don't even get stars in the All-Star game anymore. I mean,
yeah. Well,
are you kidding me?
Yeah. The thing is like all these stars. Like I feel like they argue. I don't even think it's about getting hurt. Because has anyone ever actually gotten seriously injured during a dunk contest?
I feel like if we did, everybody would point back to, that's why this person doesn't do it.
Yeah, but you don't hear that. Yeah. I think it's more about being embarrassed. Like some of these like big stars.
Well, you got to have more. I mean, look, Kobe did it. Jordan did it. Not Elijah one. Who's the Hawks guy?
Yeah.
Dominique did it. Come on. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. I mean, all these greats have done it. What are you afraid of? Like, who cares? It's a dunk contest.
We'll see.
I mean, I see LeBron brick free throws all the time when he's supposed to make it. Isn't that a little more embarrassing because it actually counts in a dunk contest? I mean, come on.
That's true.
Come on. But anyway, All-Star Weekend stunk. And I feel like we're being really negative on this podcast, but we got to do at least one more subject that's kind of negative right now because I just feel like basketball's dead. Oh, boy. Blake Griffin, if I remember correctly, he bought out his own contract with the Pistons, which I've never heard that. Cleared waivers because he was actually on waivers. He did clear waivers. I don't know how anybody lets that happen.
Yeah.
And now he has signed with the Nets for a 1-year, $1.2 million deal. And it's not just him that's coming over. When I initially wrote this episode, it was just him. Now they're talking about Andre Drummond or Boogie Cousins, who are both off Cleveland and Houston's teams respectively, joining the Nets as well. And then whichever one doesn't go to the Nets is going to go to the Lakers. I mean, what's the point of even playing? What's the point of even playing these games anymore?
It's just, we're just creating. I mean, it's just the East version of like they're trying to make the East version of like the Warriors, where it's like this
Dude,
this team.
I'm gonna throw up a graphic here
Yes.
that you're about to see right now. Boom! Look
Okay.
at that, beautiful. Between the starting five, the potential starting five of DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Durant, Irving, who is playing lights out right now. I'm sorry to what he did to your Celtics last night, and James Harden. 36 All-Star games combined, 3 titles, 2 MVPs. This is just absurd. The NBA's got to come up with some kind of rule that we just can't be doing this, because now there's the Nets and nobody in the East. I don't want to hear about Giannis. I don't want to hear about the Celtics. I don't want to hear about there's realistically in a 7-game series, no one that, unless they all get hurt, no one's going to beat that team in the East. And then in the West, I mean, the Jazz are a nice little team, and the Clippers will show up in the regular season. But AD's coming back, and there's a bunch of trade rumors that the Lakers are going to go get somebody else big, even if they don't get Cousins or Drummond. It's going to be Lakers Nets. I don't know. It's just pointless to even watch basketball anymore, and it's a bummer because I love basketball.
It's very similar to there was a few it's similar to when we knew like it was going to be the Warriors and the Cavaliers in the finals, and like everyone could like try and make an argument otherwise, but you knew no matter what it was going to be the Warriors and the Cavs for a few years. It feels very similar to that. I don't know, man. Like it's being a big Celtics fan, as I got my shirt on, man. Like it's just it's tough, dude. Like it seems like the Celtics, they were itching to get into the NBA finals last year. It seems like they've taken a million steps back. I don't see how I mean, I still think they have the 2 best young stars in the East. But it's just not enough overall collection of talent to compete with the Nets. Or half the East for that matter, really.
Yeah, and
I don't know though. There is the caveat that this Nets team, it could implode. Durant could get hurt. Harden could get hurt.
Well, Durant has been playing, and they're still smoking people out of the gym.
Yeah, exactly. But
ever since they said, Harden, you're the point guard, Kyrie's the shooting guard.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't all mesh. Maybe you're right. Maybe it does. I mean, we predicted before the season even started that just with Irving and Durant that it wasn't going to work. And then when Harden came in, we're like, oh, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. But right now, Steve Nash is figuring out ways to make it work, and good for him, because that's really all he has to do. He doesn't have to coach these guys at all. They're all fucking all-stars, but
granted, like, they might win the title, like Durant will get more rings, but is anyone's legacy going to be like more tainted than his when it comes to like you went and joined the Warriors to win 2 titles?
I mean, it'll be him and LeBron,
Yeah, but even LeBron, like LeBron's carried a couple, like legitimately, he carried the Cavs to the 2016 title. I mean, he had Kyrie,
but they don't. Well, see that, and that's what people say. Like, okay, Kyrie doesn't hit that shot, they don't win that title.
Yeah,
Ray Allen doesn't hit that corner 3. They don't win that. And I'm not. Look, I think LeBron has earned his titles. I get it, but I know
I'm saying
what
Durant,
people will say is people will criticize that just as much as they do Durant. But Durant, they called him a cupcake for a reason.
Yeah, Durant is just like, if he wins a title with this team, like I don't give him any credit. Like,
no,
you got James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Andre Drummond, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
it's a bummer, and a lot of people like to, and even I say that it contributes so that the wokeness of the NBA kills their ratings, or at least doesn't help their ratings at all, because people want to tune in to watch sports, not hear a political message. And I could go on a rant about how we had to wait for the All-Star game that sucked for 30 extra minutes to hear Common talk about bans for schools and all this other garbage that I don't watch the All-Star game for. But really, what's really killing the ratings is stuff like this. When you already know what's going to happen, you're not going to tune in until we go see, the actual end battle between the Lakers and the Nets, or the Clippers and the Nets. There's nothing interesting about it. There's nothing that's drawing people in, because people are like, there's no shot that it's going to be anything else. If I already know what's going to happen in a movie, why am I going to go watch that movie? I'm not.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's boring, and it's a waste of my time. I'm going to go find something that's going to catch my attention. And I think stuff like this, they have to figure something out to where, one, they can't just be letting these people. There's got to be some reason why Blake Griffin cleared waivers. I'll put my conspiracy hat on over my beautiful Cowboy hat on. There's no way that 29 other teams said, I don't want this guy for the salary that he's in. There's so many teams that stink and could use him. I mean, 90% of the Magic's roster, to bring it back to my team, is injured. We couldn't use Blake Griffin? Come on.
Nah, you couldn't. Yeah.
So there's some kind of conspiracy going on here. It's ruining the NBA. And I don't know if I'm going to watch another game until the playoffs. Just being honest with you.
You shouldn't.
I'll watch the halftime shows for TNT or the NBA on TNT because they're great, but that's more entertaining than the basketball game.
All right. What we got up next? What we got, bro?
Are you all right over there? I'm just doing a little health check-in.
I can't breathe through my nose.
It seems pretty brutal. So let's go to the NFL here.
Doing too much of that.
Hey, I mean, I'm not here to judge. I mean, I'm a little upset that you're not sharing any. I mean,
yeah,
we're bros here.
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, ship me some, or at least tell me who your supplier is,
Yeah.
Just talking a little cocaine here on Bush League Bros.
Just sucking cocaine.
Yeah, I'm just talking a little cocaine. But let's stop that nonsense. Let's go to the NFL. And before we get to my good news, actually, no, we're going to start with mine. I'm going to be greedy here. I came on this podcast last week, and, I said some pretty negative things about the future of Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to put my shades on for this because I'm going to need it, man. I'm just feeling so bright. You can see my little lights in my eyes right there. It's a beautiful picture.
So bright.
Oh my God. They got to put the shades on. The old gargoyles, the intimidators. I came on this show last week, said, Dak will definitely be on the team this year no matter what. We'll franchise tag him and then, we'll be screwed after. That's not the case anymore. We did franchise tag him for one day as a procedural move, but the Dallas Cowboys brought back the shades. They brought back the hat just for this episode right here because my Dallas Cowboys, America's team, I haven't got the shirt on here, America's team is keeping Dak at least for another 4 years. He signed a 4-year, $160 million contract that could go up to 164. They gave him a $66 million signing bonus. He's going to make $75 million this year, but he's only going to count $22 million against the cap this season. And all of a sudden, I'm feeling pretty good about the Cowboys right now. We got it.
Good.
We kept him. This is what I wanted. I think he's worth it. But what are your reactions? If you want to just pester me and tell me I'm stupid, or do you think this was the right move? How do you feel about the Dak deal?
Well, I don't hate it. I mean, it's a good contract. Like, it's what you had to pay him to keep him. I think it's smart. Like, they didn't give him some ridiculous amount of years. Like 4 years, $160 million is really like it's. I mean, if he ends up like he can't play quarterback anymore, it's bad, right? But it's not like franchise ending bad where you have all this money. You do have a lot of money wrapped up in him, but we had talked last week. He was talking about getting like Mahomes type deal, and I was thinking that meant like 8 years. He wanted like 400 million or something like that, something crazy, and it didn't end up being that. So I think you guys worked out well. There's a good chance that this deal he could end up being underpaid. In our reality, if he comes back just as good as he was playing last year, there's an argument to be made that this deal he's going to be underpaid in this deal if he produces like he was at the beginning of last year. That's a big caveat though, because who knows if that's actually going to happen. Sure. But this was your move. Like, I don't think you guys getting another quarterback was the move. You got a good solid quarterback. He's how old, right? He's like 25, right?
27.
27.
Yep, 27.
He'll
be 31 by the end of the deal.
Yeah. So this was the move. He'll still be in his prime by the end of this deal. If he plays well, he's got the chance to sign another super contract, right? Like,
the
way these guys, play
with the new TV deals kicking in,
Yeah. So good for him.
That are going to be ridiculous.
I'm happy for Dak. Dallas did him right, seems like. And we'll see about your Cowboys.
We'll say,
going to be 8-8.
Look, we've got a lot of work to do on the defense. We got to Make sure our O-line is healthy. But for right now, I woke up Monday. I think it was Monday. Yeah, Monday when this deal went down. It was random. Like it was in the middle of the afternoon on a Monday. And I'm just on Instagram and I see in the story section breaking and a picture of Dak. I'm like, okay, what troll site is saying Dak got traded or whatever? And it said signed. And I'm like, this is actually a real. And then I checked it and it was a great Monday. So it's been a really good week. And I'm going to be petty here for a second because I love our viewers. I'm a lover of people, right? But there is one fan base that I will just attack with no remorse. There's one franchise I will attack with no remorse because they hate Santa Claus. They cheer when Hall of Fame talents get hurt. It's just a garbage town, a garbage city that worships false idols like Rocky Balboa. And, let's just say this right now. They got Jalen Hurts. We'll see how that pans out. But for all of them saying, oh, you guys are overpaying for Dak and did, all this hot garbage, guess what? I already said Dak's cap hit for this year, it's $22.2 million against the cap. Okay, Cowboys have about $20 million in cap space left over right now before any other restructurings that they do to play with. We'll see what they do with it. The Philadelphia Eagles have $33 million in dead money against their cap this year for a guy that's not even going to be their quarterback this year. He's playing quarterback for the Colts. Carson Wentz, who I hope lights it up. I'm a huge Carson Wentz fan now. Couldn't before, but now, I hope this guy goes to the moon. I hope the Cowboys play the Colts in the Super Bowl this year, and we get Wentz versus Dak. Dak, obviously the better quarterback because he's the only quarterback that was drafted in 2016 that's still with his current team. What a factoid right there. But the Eagles, you're paying $33 million for a guy who isn't playing for you, who was your franchise and now he's not. And your whole system, your whole thing, your whole deal is all a mess. Your cap situation stinks. You've got no weapons. You're cutting people left and right. It is just, I think that's just the other thing that's just making me so happy this week when it comes to the NFL is that, the Cowboys, we at least, hey, can you win a Super Bowl with paying your quarterback? I don't know. Patrick Mahomes just went to the Super Bowl on that mega deal. He didn't win, but, maybe if he had his tackles that they cut this week, which is crazy, maybe they would have won. I don't know. I can't speculate. We'll see if Dak goes and wins the Super Bowl. We'll see. But at least I know that my franchise has a top 10 quarterback. If you don't want to say top 5, that's fine. A top 10 quarterback at minimum under center for the next 4 years, barring health. And we don't know what y'all have. So I'll get off my petty pedestal here and I'll stop pestering those Philadelphia Eagles fans. But, it's a good week to be a Cowboys fan right now. We'll see what happens when it all matters because I feel like I say I'm super excited every year and this is our year every year. But for right now, for this week, America's team, we got to be feeling pretty good as this has getting really hot and sweaty. I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, man. I think that this was the right move, and we'll see. We'll see with the Cowboys. I smell a nice 8-8 season coming up for you.
What a lowbrow joke. Every 8-8. Look, buddy. 8-8. Okay, we weren't even 8-8 this season. All right, so we're not 8-8 every year. Okay,
that's what I mean. You guys are.
No, we are going to be. We have the third easiest schedule right now, based off last year's numbers going into the season. So we'll see. We got there's a lot that could happen the next week because free agency starts next Wednesday, the 17th of March. We'll see what these teams look like. We'll see what the division looks like. But as a Cowboy fan, you got to be feeling pretty good. Knowing the Eagles, if it weren't for the Houston Texans, they would be the laughing stock of the NFL right now for how screwed up they are. And if it weren't for the Eagles and the Houston Texans, it'd probably be the Washington football team, not their old men. That would be the laughing stock. And the Giants also stink, so you got to feel pretty good about at least winning the division. It's good stuff, but I've talked enough about my team. Let's talk about your team, okay? I want to get your thoughts here. Cammy Boy, in a surprise move, at least I think for me a surprise move, has signed a 1-year, $14 million deal to remain the Patriots quarterback. Are you okay?
I'm not, dude. What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm asking
Cam Newton's coming back, dude. 1 year, 14 million. Dude, he can't be I don't know if he's going to be the starter. Like, what are we doing here? There's no way he's going to. I watched him last year. Dude. There's no way that guy is ever going to be like an elite NFL quarterback again or lead the team deep in the playoffs again. Like, I think they could potentially make the playoffs with him. Don't get me wrong, but they're not making a run in the playoffs with Cam Newton at the quarterback. It just won't happen.
Dude, what if you go out and you sign Juju and Kenny Galladay, just get these weapons with Edelman healthy in the slot and you trade up to number 10
you think
with
guys
the Cowboys
really want to play with
draft
Cam
Kyle
Newton?
Pitts? I don't know. He seems like a guy like before last season he was on all these podcasts with players and they liked him. I don't know. Who knows?
I think
I'm all out on Cam.
This smells of desperation, where it's like they were like, "Oh shit, no one wants to come play quarterback for us this offseason. We should probably sign Cam Newton again." Yeah.
Would you rather have Cammy Boy or would you have rather traded for Jimmy G?
Jimmy G, yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Jimmy G could bring your team to the Super Bowl. You get a good defense around him. You get some decent weapons. Like, he did it. Like, he's legitimately done that. He did it with the 49ers. So
George Kittle and Nick Bosa brought a team to the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm going to sit there and say Jimmy G brought him.
No, he didn't bring him, but I mean,
he managed his way to a Super Bowl, I guess.
He managed his way to a Super Bowl. That's all we need him to do. Yeah.
But I mean, you guys have a lot. You guys also have a lot of cap money to spend. I think you guys are second or third most cap. Yeah. Maybe you were first. I can't remember. You guys have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah. This does leave us with a ton of money to sign free agents. That's for sure. Yeah. Right. And especially in a year where the cap's getting lower and not as many teams are going to be willing to spend.
Dude, and the cuts that have happened this season already. I don't know. It could be a revival time. Maybe the Bills had their 1 year and now Cammy Boy says, not no more. I still got gas in the tank. We're getting Juju. We're getting Kenny Galladay. We're going to trade up to 10 with the Cowboys and draft Kyle Pitts and give Dallas all these extra picks. And it's going to work out great for both sides. And we'll see you wherever the Super Bowl's being
I think they'll be making
year.
Some moves around the draft. And
you think Bill Belichick's not going to go, hellfire and brimstone after watching Brady win a title? Like, come on.
He better, dude. He better.
Look at these spoiled brat Boston fans.
I'm starting to think it was.
This guy won me 6 rings, and he better.
He better, bro. I'm gonna have to fire him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna fire Bill Belichick. Get out of town, dude. I'm done with you. I'm done with this. Anything else you want to say about the NFL before we do our one last segment here?
Let's get into our bracket, dude.
All right. Do you have your bracket up? I sent it to you. Do you? Do I? And the answer is no, I don't have the bracket. So I am a hypocrite, as they call me. Now I do. All right. Here we go. I'm going to throw it up on the screen for you guys. So we've got March Madness coming up here. Yes. And so we thought we'd do our brackets of our own. Kind of sports-based. It's going to be the all-time sports personality, Bush League Bros, bracketology. And yes, we will probably do our own actual, assuming March Madness happens this season, because Duke and Kansas and all these other schools are withdrawing like in the last couple of days. Assuming it happens, we'll do a real bracket. We'll compete in some bracketology for the actual March Madness. But until then, we got to lead up to it, okay? Because we're not going to talk about college basketball, because until it actually gets to bracket time for them, college basketball kind of boring, right?
Yeah,
but brackets are fun. College basketball stinks. Come on. It's all fundamentals, and there's no I don't know. I'm not a big fan until it gets to March Madness. But anyway, until that time, we got to get to this all-time sports personalities bracket. Today, we're going to pick one bracket. You see, we've got 4 brackets here. Yes. We've got the Total Divas bracket. And this is all for NFL wide receivers, because historically they are the divas in the NFL. Doesn't mean we don't have other NFL players on here. We have the Big Baller Brand bracket, and this is for basketball's biggest divas as well. And it's not all NBA. I've got a little Bob Knight in there, as you can see, at the number 5 position. And then we have the GOAT division with GOATs throughout different sports or sports entertainment.
Yep.
All right. And hey, look, I didn't put LeBron on here because I don't think LeBron's a big personality. I mean, he's got a big personality, but I don't think he competes.
No.
And then we have the flying high Popeye the Sailor Man division because, he injects his spinach and then he just becomes a monster. Yeah. And, these guys have allegedly injected some kind of substances, whether they be performance enhancers or just some fun stuff, whatever substance turns them into Popeye. Old Mary J. I mean, hey, look, he wasn't in the Total Divas bracket, but at number 7, we've got my guy, the playmaker, Michael Irvin. And, he may have, allegedly taken some substances that Paul is supposed to be sending me and sharing with me later on, but we got that. But Paul, what we're going to do is we're going to take one bracket and we're going to narrow it down to the final 2. Each episode now, we're going to go down to the final 2 in one bracket. And then on the final episode, we're going to do the last, what is that? The last
the Elite
8 teams. Right? Yeah, the Elite 8. We'll get down to the Elite 8 and we'll circle it down to our champion of the all-time sports personality in the history of Jesus Christ himself and before. Jesus Christ did not make our all-time sports personalities. Come on, step it up, Jesus. Do better next time. Maybe we'll see you in 2022.
Step your game up, Jesus.
Anywho, we're not here to bash
Which
Jesus.
bracket are we starting with?
I want you to pick which bracket we're starting with. That's the caveat. I want to see what you want to start with here.
Ooh, let's start with the Big Baller Brand bracket.
The whole Big Baller Brand. We might get taken down for using that logo, but I don't care. I'll change the logo if I need to. But so let's just break it down here. I'll throw up the graphic for just this lovely little bracket. That's annoying to say bracket so many times, but we have the first matchup. I'll go through all the matchups here, and then we'll start with 1 and 8. First matchup, we have the 1 versus the 8 seed, Dennis Rodman versus Isaiah Thomas, and that is the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, not the former Celtics, Isaiah Thomas. The 4-5 matchup is Allen Iverson versus Bob Knight, the Hoosier coach for a long time, throwing chairs. The 2 and 7 matchup is Ron Artest versus KG, your boy. And then, man, there's a lot of former Celtics on this list here. 3, we have the big Aristotle Shaquille O'Neal versus one of my personal favorite players of all time, Rasheed Wallace. So
this is a good bracket, dude. Yeah.
So, and I gotta. Do I have a pen near me? I do. Look at that. I am kind of prepared. That's a pencil, not a pen. I gotta write down who's going to what here. Does this pen work? Hot damn, it does. All right. So, Paul, let's start with 1 and 8. Dennis Rodman versus Isaiah Thomas. Where do you think we need to go? Who's moving on in this bracket?
I mean, there's a reason Dennis Rodman is the 1 seed. If we're talking sports personalities, just crazy personality. I mean, he could have easily been in like every.
He could have been in 3 of the. He couldn't have been. I mean, I guess if he was a wide receiver,
he's like the GOAT defender, dude. Yeah, GOAT rebounder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he could definitely be in the GOAT, and he could certainly.
But
be
there's
in the
a reason
bracket.
he's a 1 seed in this tournament. When we're talking crazy sports personalities, Dennis Rodman ranks up there with the best of them. I mean, the stories, his lore has only been increased lately due to the Last Dance documentary. The story of him just taking off to Vegas for like 3 days
with
in a
Carmen
row.
Electra. I mean,
Carmen
I'd
Electra.
go to Vegas with Carmen Electra.
Like this guy. I mean, yeah, there's a reason he's a 1 seed. He's moving on. I think we can agree that he's moving on. He's matched up with Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas, everyone hated him when he was an NBA player. He kind of renowned as a jerk. Also, post NBA career, a little problematic as the Knicks GM. Some problematic things that went on while he was involved in that organization. So, I think we're gonna get Isaiah Thomas out of here.
Okay.
And Dennis Rodman's moving on.
And let's I'm going to agree with you here, but let's just kind of do a little quick comparison of their rap sheets. We don't need to talk about what Isaiah Thomas did as a GM. We get it. If you don't know, you're more than welcome to use the Google. But Isaiah Thomas made this list. Let's justify him being on this list.
Yeah.
Because you're right. A lot of people thought he was a prick. I mean, there's a reason why it was John Stockton and not Isaiah Thomas on the Dream Team. I think The Last Dance also covered that too. And I know people have tried to, say, oh, it wasn't Jordan. But when Michael Jordan sits down and says, no, that guy cannot be on my team or I'm not playing, you've got a personality right there. You've got someone that can get under people's skin. So he definitely deserves it. And he was, I could have put Bill Laimbeer on here. There was plenty of people from the Bad Boy Pistons that I could have put on there. But he was the face of the Bad Boy Pistons.
Oh, yeah.
And they were the most infamous team in the history of the NBA. Would you agree with that? Most infamous team in NBA history? Yeah. Coming up in the 80s, roughhousing. So he definitely deserves to be on the list. But Dennis Rodman goes to his wedding with Carmen Electra. He's the one wearing the bride's, the dress.
Yeah.
He's banging Carmen Electra in the practice facility during practice, doing the Vegas flyouts. He's buddies with Kim Jong-un somehow. What this guy has done in his life, not only just for this bracket, but this is going to be a tough guy to beat in any bracket.
Overall,
So moving on, Dennis Rodman, surprise
I smell
here.
a Final Four appearance for Dennis.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Let's go to this one. This one's going to be a little interesting here. Yeah. The 4 and 5 matchup, AI versus Bobby Knight. Okay, AI doesn't like to practice. Just an all-out. For his size, he's an absolute dog. Practice.
We're talking about practice.
Practice. And then we've got the chair thrower, Bobby Knight, who has, I think he's been canceled too.
Yeah, another problematic figure.
Yep.
To say the least.
But greatest college coach of all time, maybe,
Yeah, Bob Knight, if we're talking, he's a great coach, but just in terms of sports personality, he was an electric interview. You ever watch some of his interview clips from back in those days?
He was you remember how Bill Parcells, anytime they had a post game, whether he was the Giants, he was that before Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
That was more entertaining than the game.
He would berate reporters. He would make reporters feel so stupid. Just go at them super hard. He was a military guy. I think he started his coaching career at West Point. Just super prick. The chair throwing incident, that was before a lot of stuff. That was early on when he threw the chair. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great throw, by the way, if you've ever seen that clip.
And people still redo it to this day.
Yeah, people still, no one's recreated that. He threw it. He threw it into a bunch of fans.
Yeah, awesome. Awful, but awesome.
But Bobby Knight was also, he was kind of the first, one of the first originators of the hothead coach, right? There was hothead coaches before him, but
sure, he's the one that if you say hothead coach, that's the first thing that's coming to your mind.
It's the first guy you think of, yeah. And then there's Allen Iverson, though, where we're talking about practice, a variety of off the court issues for him, just
blowing money.
Notoriously, would never sleep, would just party all night and then play in NBA games
and wreck dudes.
And it was just a beast. It's a tough one, man.
I think I'm leaning, and I know a 4 or 5 you can't really have an upset, but I'm leaning Bob Knight here on this one. And here's how many people are dressing up as AI for Halloween? Bob Knight, you put on that, the little white polo with the red sweater over it.
Yeah, you're Bob Knight. Yeah. Bob
Knight is an iconic figure. He was the biggest coach personality of all time in college basketball history. Mm-hmm. He's still, even though, we're not going to really get into detail on people's real problems here, but, despite allegations, he's still a big deal in Indiana. He's still the standard for the Hoosiers, who have stunk since they lost him. I think we got to go Bob Knight here. I think Bob Knight is an icon. And look, practice is probably the biggest, most utilized sports talk drop of all time. Everybody uses it. Everybody I think I'm thinking Bobby Knight moves on here.
I don't know though, man, because all right, this is sports personalities, right?
Yeah.
There's been other hothead coaches. There's never really been anyone that was like Allen Iverson in terms of a personality that just didn't give a fuck, and he couldn't really be told what to do by anyone. I think we've never really seen a character exactly like him ever in NBA history, where we've seen other guys that maybe had the same off the court issues, but no one that was ever such a prolific player, right? So this is tough, man.
I'm still leaning Bobby here. We got to figure. How do we figure out a tiebreaker? How do we figure out a tiebreaker?
I got a coin, dude. We can coin flip.
You have a coin on you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with AI, dude.
Okay. All right. Tails never fails.
Tails,
I'm going with Bobby Knight.
Florida.
Yeah, oh, good. It's got COVID all over it. It's a good thing you're vaccinated.
Yeah. Ready? Heads is Knight. Tails is AI.
Oh, I said tails never fails for me. I called tails. Okay. Yeah.
Tails is Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
Heads is AI. Oh, I dropped it. Hold on. It fell on the floor.
That doesn't count. The guy can't even flip a goddamn quarter.
Heads. It's heads.
No, I can't lay on the floor. You got to do a clean, and I didn't even see it. See, that's the problem here. It could have been tails, and you could be fibbing. You could be absolutely lying right now.
I would tell the truth.
I don't believe you, but fine. You know, just in an act of solidarity, I'll go AI, even though Bobby Knight should be moving on.
AI is.
I don't think it's going to matter, but.
It's not going to, yeah. So.
Whatever.
But
fine. All right. Screw you.
On. Next one in the bracket.
You lying sack of shit. It's clearly tails because tails never fails. It rhymed. It doesn't even make any sense here. But anyway, we've got the 2-7 matchup. We've got Ron Artest versus KG, the big ticket.
Yeah.
What do you got here?
This is a big one too.
This is tough.
I'm a little biased. Big KG guy. I mean, when we talk about KG, you got to remember.
Is there a better shit talker in NBA history than Kevin Garnett? I mean, Jordan maybe, but
yeah, but no, like in terms of like consistent and like the profanity in his shit talk and just like the things that like would come out of his mouth during the game. I don't think anyone is better than Kevin Garnett. Just such an intense player. Always maintain that level of intensity when we play basketball. I mean, not necessarily the greatest like off the court personality, but neither was Artest, to be honest, right? Artest really all this stuff was on the court too. Like you don't think of Artest or Garnett and really think of like highlight interview moments from them, right?
No, I don't.
This is a good matchup.
The only time I ever remember a Ron Artest interview is when he was suspended for the brawl in the, what was it called?
Yeah.
The Malice in the Palace. There we go. Malice in the Palace where they fought the Pistons.
Yeah. And this is
where he was promoting his girl hip hop band.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious and awful. So yeah, I mean that's the only thing I remember from him. Yeah, mostly on the court stuff.
So we have KG, right? And then like Artest, we have the Malice in the Palace, which most infamous fight ever in NBA history.
Yep, 100%.
Just unbelievable fight. I watched it live, dude. It was to this day. It was just a regular, boring end of the game, and then that happened. To this day, the craziest thing I've ever witnessed on live TV, like during a sporting game.
Probably shouldn't say it. Malice in the Palace, awesome.
It was amazing,
so good,
riveting.
Because back then the Pistons and Pacers rivalry was the most physical rivalry in all of basketball for years. Yeah. It was bringing us back to that 80s. Game. Yeah.
Because like you knew that was a good game. Like that was the only reason I had that game on. And it was that I was literally about to turn it off because the game was over. And then that all happened.
It was a team. It was two teams of dogs. Like Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest, on the other Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey. Yeah. There was some dogs on both sides. It was awesome. And let's also not forget that, part of why we have to have Ron Artest on here and so high is he is the only person I believe on this. Well, he's one of two people on this list that have changed their name. He changed his full name. He is no longer Ron Artest, or maybe he's back to Ron Artest, but he is Meta World Peace because after the Malice in the Palace, he found serenity and happiness and doing his goat yoga. And
also had some incidents as Meta World Peace.
Sure, he
remember
did.
the elbow to the head.
He just killed James Harden. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. But I mean, he did it in a more peaceful manner. It didn't turn into a Malice in the Palace. It was just, I didn't mean to do this, even though I clearly did. I'm a peaceful man. Leave me alone. But
I think it's got to be Meta World or Ron Artest.
I agree, right? And that's I think a 7 seed might have been a little low for KG. Yeah. But we are going to take the biggest shit talker in the history of the NBA off the list. We are going with Ronnie Boy. No upsets yet, even though Bobby Knight should have won.
Mainly just because.
Go ahead.
I feel like this personality encapsulates like not just what they did on the court. Garnett's shit talking and all that stuff really did remain on the court.
Yeah.
Artest biggest off the court brawl ever, right? Like other incidences, like it's KG was just a professional, I would say. He's a big personality, absolutely. Artesto, like one of a kind. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. So let's go to this one. Shaquille O'Neal, Superman versus Rasheed Wallace. This is a weird one, man.
This is a weird one.
Rasheed Wallace might be the weirdest guy on this bracket.
Rasheed
At least
Wallace,
in the big baller brand.
Yeah. He was so great to like what was it? Like early to mid 2000s Blazers, Rasheed Wallace getting like you just knew like as soon as he would get a foul called on him, like
Here comes the T. Yep.
Here comes the T. Like
nobody has more T's than him in NBA history, if I remember correctly, right? He's the all-time T leader.
And he would just and like refs like knew it. Like he wouldn't even have to do anything. Like he would get a foul and he would just look at a ref. There's like multiple incidences where he didn't say a word to a ref, and there was a couple instances where he just stared down a ref, like just stared him down and tried to like intimidate him. And there's like I've seen a clip of it, and the ref's like, no, like tease him up. He's like, you're not gonna do that, Sheed. Like not tonight. And just always getting technical fouls. He was just electric content. And then he'd always be like, how did I get a technical foul? Like, you remember that? Like, he'd always be like,
yeah. Oh, it was never him.
Yeah, he would like run
never
around
his
the
fault.
court. And then he would often do this thing to like, if he really didn't give a fuck that night, he would do that. And he'd be like, what? And then he'd click and get all pissed and then yell at the ref again and like purposely get thrown out of the game if he didn't care. Rasheed Wallace is one of a kind. I'll give him that. But we're talking Shaquille O'Neal here.
That's tough, man. I mean,
in terms of electric personalities.
Well, let's stick on Sheed right here because we can say a lot about Shaq, and we will. Has there ever been, at least in our generation, 90s to now, has there ever been a more unhinged player that you just had to legitimately go, this dude could snap and kill somebody at any time? Because he just don't give a damn about nothing.
He didn't care. He didn't care at all, dude.
He was involved in the Malice at the Palace. He was suspended for his role in the Malice in the Palace.
Yes.
He was a very big part of it. The dude is...
He did try and break it up. I feel like he was trying to break some of it up. Yeah.
I mean, sure.
Like he was the one that committed the foul originally, right?
Correct.
No, it was Artest.
No, it was Artest and Ben Wallace. And then Rasheed, I think, came to break it up. And then he didn't break it up, and then
it like made it worse.
Yeah, which is amazing. And then that guy threw a beer on our test, and the rest is history. Yeah. But you're, I think Shaq is tough. Shaq is, I mean, this guy is going to be tough to beat for anybody here.
Shaq could be a 1 seed in this, to be honest.
On the court, we know, but he's the guy that made dancing at the All-Star game famous. He's done movies. Him and Rodman are the only two I think on this list that have done movies.
Yeah.
What is that? Shazam or was it Kazam?
Classic.
Kazam. Is it Kazam? Yeah. It's Kazam.
It's
Shazam's a superhero movie. I think it's Kazam. It's one of the two. It was a garbage movie. Who cares? He's done many movies. Probably one of your favorites, Grown Ups too. I know you're a big Grown Ups fan.
Yeah.
He's a DJ.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, he's got rap albums. He dissed Kobe and then pissed Kobe off and led Kobe to win 2 more rings. But this, I mean, I think it's got to be Shaq, right?
It has to be Shaq. I mean, Shaq is not only like obviously one of the biggest NBA personalities ever, like the biggest personalities.
He's one of the biggest personalities,
like, sports or not, right? Like you can make an argument that when you think of biggest personalities, biggest like figures, right? It's Shaquille O'Neal. He's world renowned. You see him, you know exactly who he is. You know, it not only do you know like he's a basketball player, you know, like his personality is huge immediately just from knowing Shaq. So I think he's got to move on.
Yeah, and I mean, he is a part of the best sports show on cable television, NBA on TNT. And I know we don't have Barkley on here, which I know is probably a controversial thing, because Barkley certainly could be on here.
Yeah,
but I just felt like having him and Shaq was a little redundant. And without that banner, like that show stinks. Shaq and Charles is some of the most electrifying television that you could watch. So we're both going with Shaq. We're in agreement there. We've got one more round to go through here. Then we can wrap this pod up just to get to the finals for this bracket. We've got the 1 and 4 matchup, Rodman versus AI. Do we even need to go? this has got to be Rodman all day, right?
We don't have to go deep into this.
Okay.
But AI had a good performance. Neither him or Bob Knight were making it out.
Correct. And that's why I guess I'm okay with Bob Knight.
We're talking Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, here. Rodman's going through. We just got to figure out who his competition is going to be. Are we going Meta World Peace, Mr. Ron Artest, or are we going Shaquille O'Neal?
Before we move on to that, I just want to say that Rasheed Wallace definitely has our honorable mention for this tournament. I will say that. Like he deserves an honorable mention.
I probably could have put him higher up.
Just being Sheed, yeah.
Yeah, so, Rasheed Wallace is one of the greatest personalities of all time. Love Sheed. Big fan.
So who is it again? It's Shaquille and
Shaq and Ronnie Boy. Artest.
Jeez.
I think I'm leaning toward Shaq.
Yeah, I think we're going a little slight upset here. Just because, I mean, Malice in the Palace, a couple other instances, yeah, with Ron Artest, but Shaq is just that big figure, dude, that I don't know that Artest has enough in the bag to overshadow his personality. He doesn't.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Artest is definitely crazier, but this isn't who's the craziest
this
player.
Is not. Bracket. This is the all-time sports personality.
If it was,
bracket.
Yeah, if it was, it would have won a little different, I think. Yeah, Rasheed probably might have won. Yeah.
Rasheed's a special human being. God bless him. And anytime I see an interview with Rasheed Wallace, that's one of the things I don't just go, oh, I'll watch 2 minutes. It's like I gotta sit down and watch the whole damn thing. I can't.
Do you like kind of remember that? Like they wouldn't really like he had some incident on like a after post game interview at one point in like the 2000s where he said he just like he just went on like a
he did a Nate Diaz curse off. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like he never really they never really like had him on a post game.
No, you can't, because you never know what he's gonna say. Yeah, you never know what he's gonna say. So shout out to our boy Sheed. Both big fans here. He doesn't move on past his matchup with Shaq.
Shaq and Rodman.
Shaq and Rodman. When we get to the last episode of our all-time sports personalities, we'll go head-to-head in the Elite Eight to go into the semifinals against the winner of the Popeye bracket. The Popeye got to get high bracket.
Yep.
Which is what we'll do next time. We'll do the Popeye bracket on the next episode, and then we'll do Total Divas and Goats to wrap this thing up. So Rodman, Shaq, congratulations. I'm sure you were tuning in huge anticipation of this matchup. Yes. So congratulations to you both. Before we wrap up the podcast, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything you'd like to say? Anything else going on that we need to know about? Sports or otherwise?
Not that I can think of, man. I think we got a great bracket going here. We're both excited for our, for it to keep moving forward. Bush League Bros is just getting started here. We're kind of revamping the pod,
a little bit.
Trying to do some quicker episodes. We're going to talk about, trying to maybe get some stuff going, twice a week here. I think maybe back out on Mondays again. So just stay tuned. We're going to keep this cranking. And we might need to for the bracket, right? We might need to kind of get a couple.
No, I've got it. I mean, we can. We certainly, whenever we start going to 2, we'll certainly have the bracket. We're not going to skip the bracket until it's done. But I think I have it timed out perfectly until March Madness. But we'll figure it out. We can always get it done early, then start focusing on our real brackets here. But let's shut this thing down. Good episode, fun episode. We went a little longer than we anticipated, which is always the case. So we've got things to go do. It is Friday nights. I got to start editing this thing hopefully tonight. So from the Bush League Bros, Paul Liakis, Brett Batchelder, thank you everybody for watching. We're still not back on Spotify, but if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't already, subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. Like the video. Let us know what you think or who you think should be coming out of the Big Baller Brand bracket for our all-time sports personality bracket. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm Brett Batchelder. That's Paul Liakis. We're out of this thing, and peace.
Peace.
Bush League. Bush League.
Punch you right in the mouth. That's Bush. Bush League.